and welcome to the Doomsayers. We're back! It's been a little bit, so before I get into all the good stuff about what we're doing here today, let's do some introductions of who we got on the cast here. Starting off with you, Kai. Kai, please introduce yourself and who you're playing.
Hi everyone, I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns, and I am back today playing Never a Problem. Always so cheerful, I can't even lie that well. Merrick, who has a bad attitude problem, who is also Patroclus of ancient Greece, who does not want to be in the underworld. That's what I have.
Lovely. Next up, Calamity.
Hi, I'm Calamity. My pronouns are she, they. Today I'll be playing Mallory, who also doesn't want to be in the underworld. She hasn't been here since she was 11. There's a reason for that. This is gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Lovely. And last but not least, Val.
Hello, everybody. My name is Valiant Dorian. I use he, him, his pronouns. You can find me. Well, before I even say that, actually, I am playing Hector of Troy today. Uses he, him pronouns. He's doing fine. He does not want to be in the underworld. You know, the famously popular tourist destination, the underworld. Does not want to be here. But alas, I'll pass it on back to our MC for the evening.
Hello, I'm the MC for the evening. My name is Chris, and I will be your humble MC for the evening. With that in mind, before we start, a couple things in case you forgot or weren't able to catch them. CWs for this, if you type in the chat, !DoomCW, you'll find all the content warnings for today. But for you, if you are here with us, for the content warnings for today, we have fantasy and gun violence, apocalypse, romance and references to sexual entanglements, monsters and monstrosity, severe weather, blood, real-world religions, familiar struggles, trauma, McCarthyism, mind and memory manipulation, depictions of kidnapping, crime, supernatural, mythological elements, murder, and suicidal ideation. If any of these do not float your boat, there's a plethora of wonderful content out there for you to enjoy. And as we saw before, if you type !Doomcast, you can find all the lovely people on and behind the screen that makes this production possible. But I think that is all, and with that in mind, it's time for us to get into that sweet intro. So we'll go to the intro, and we'll be right back, folks. See you soon. return to our group. A portal spits out everyone at once, except for Mallory, which is a hot second, but then proceeds to come out. I didn't describe it before, but going to the underworld, you immediately assume you would find yourself in the familiarities of your great religion, the river Styx, but instead you find yourself surrounded by sand. And as you look up to the skies, you see that it is not a pitch dark night full of foreboding or dread, but rather starry skies that hold the dreams beyond imagination, and stars that are clearer than anything on the mortal plane as they move and weave like an ocean above you. The sand around you is chromatic in nature and shifts, weaves, echoes almost of dreams, of fates. As this happens, Set kind of picks himself up. Well, that was fun, now wasn't it?
I don't know about that. So what's the plan now? You brought us here.
Yes, I did bring you here for a very simple reason. You want to get to the underworld, but we can't necessarily take the front door, shall we? It's a bit rude, and also it's a little bit predictable, especially if you're being hunted. So, we came to my neighborhood. We do have a bit of walking, as we are going to have to get to the border of my realm and to yours. So I suggest you dust yourselves off, get a good stride among you, and prepare. Athena, I believe you know the way. And you see Athena kind of go, well, yes, I do know the way, and I shall lead it when we are ready, though one of you does not look particularly well, as they point over to Mallory.
It can go.
Merrick walks up to Mallory and offers her a hand quietly.
She'll hesitate a moment and take it. Her skin is cold, unnaturally cold. But she will take it and stand. Thank you.
And he pulls her with none of the bravado that you're used to. It seems like here there's no need for that. And you touch the hand that is gentler than one would think it is as he lifts you and says nothing. Just dusts himself off and starts to walk.
Quite right. Let us go, as you guys proceed to go across the Duat. Sands are heavy here, as it blows and weaves to your face like a hurricane, as it understands that while its main ruler is here, there are foreign entities walking among its sands. As it is going about at this point, Set looks over to you as Athena is taking point, as you're crossing one of the many dune hills. I'm quite curious, Marek. Does this remind you of the old days?
Which old days?
Oh, you know, the war. We were on the same side for a hot second.
For a while. And nothing reminds me of that. Thanks.
Your Alfred says otherwise, but that's not what I'm intrigued by. I'm curious as he gets a little close, almost like if it's examining you in a weird way. Do you regret your time on our side for what we stood for?
I did it to get what I needed. just like you, right?
I was not necessarily the same way. I believed in a higher calling. Look at the world today with all of its explosions on the brim. I
I didn't have a
believe
choice.
we all have choices. You use that excuse every mile, every trek, every battle, like a baby crying at its mother's teat.
I didn't even remember who I was when I joined your side, so that's hardly a choice.
Hmm. Same excuse. Same excuse.
And then I let
So,
her fucking lie to me. Over and over again. Because you know where Achilles is? Not with me. And that's all she kept saying, that she knew where he was.
it ever occurred to you that maybe they did know where he was? You just didn't stick around long enough to find the answer.
I sold enough of my soul in a different war.
And
I didn't
yet
need to
here
give her the
you
rest.
are as a doomsayer, the oxymoron of it. It is fascinating.
It seems the gods are never quite done with me. Like you.
One last question, my wolf. Do you think being a doomsayer will acquit you of your sins? Do you think saving your lover will forgive the past of abuse and torment and all the things you've had, received, and given back tenfold?
You say that like I care. The only forgiveness I need is out there, wherever he is.
Oh, buddy
Everyone
boy.
else, I don't care.
You know, the fun thing about the duat is I get to weigh people's hearts. I see inside of you, and I can tell your facade is dropping as they proceed to continue walking.
And as Set walks away, though he doesn't see it, a layer of a year, maybe two, washes off of the shade of Merrick. And he keeps walking.
As you guys continue, maybe another hour has passed. And at this point, Hector, you'll notice Mallory. There's something different about them. Their demeanor, the way they walk, the way they carry themselves. You're a bit concerned, but it is up to you, your prerogative, if you should poke that bear.
I don't think Hector has moved his gaze away from Mallory since we arrived in the underworld. There's a creeping melancholy that takes hold of his heart, that spreads out from his chest and grips his entire being. It's so strange to witness the grief of another. He's been embroiled in his own that it just feels like a new perspective. And as he sees Mallory, he sees Andromache, his wife, whatever she endured when he was taken by Achilles. It feels embarrassing to think about, but he hasn't thought about what she might have endured in those days following his death. with the loss of the SDNX. And seeing Mallory, maybe it's his chance to make it right. And he, I think, took the kind of rear positioning here as we are marching forward through the Duat. And he increases his pace to meet Mallory by your side before he perhaps clumsily asks, "What are you thinking about?"
I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
For how I acted, for what I said.
There's nothing to
Of all
apologize for.
people, you, of course, would understand.
No, you're right, actually. I understand a piece of it, but not what you're going through. When I died, when I was killed, I went first. The grief I feel is when the story of Troy ended. I wasn't there, Mallory, to pick up the pieces. But my wife, Andromache, she was. So you're right. I didn't understand. But I do understand one thing. No parent should have to watch their child taken away from them.
I thank you. I guess you asked me what I was thinking. I can't think. It's so loud here.
I know.
No,
I know.
it is loud here. In ways I hope you never have to understand.
Is that your lineage?
I believe so. It's never been quite like this. Usually in dreams, I would hear whispers, see things. But now it's... And she kind of like looks at the corner of her eye and looks away quickly. I swear
Your life is your own, Mallory. Marek and I, we're ancient relics, given second chances. But relics, we still remain. You, Enid, you are both new life. This world is yours by right. And I don't mean the underworld. What you want to do, what you wish to do, is it's your gift. And I know that whatever fire burns in you Because it's the same that burns in me as a father. That whatever you've done, whatever you will do is for him.
This should be all my fault. He shouldn't have to deal with all of this. He shouldn't have had to.
I know that thought. I know that thought.
I just couldn't go. And now, I have no choice.
Maybe you should have. Maybe you could have. Maybe you ought to have had done a different path. I know I had to have taken a different path. Maybe the Prince of Troy should have put his own family first, instead of the glory of his kingdom. Maybe we both had different choices. But we're here. And I'll promise you one thing, Mallory. We will bring Ennd back. You will not taste what I have endured. Never again.
Thank you.
You still have a chance. And I think Hector, just sits quietly with you, you were saying.
She'll just kind of fall quiet after that.
And within this sadness, Mallory, there's something I think you are feeling in this moment, deep down. More of a second thought, if anything. But there is this emotion, this burning sensation that is like a small flame at the moment. Hatred. But I think the question that is in your mind is it for Orpheus or for yourself? Something to ponder. But for the most part, your journey continues as you go over traveling sands. You see there, as you get to one of the horizons, various boats of wood moving along the sand, going back and forth. As you guys trek through a good amount of the Duat for some time. You think maybe a day has passed, maybe an hour. Time tricky down here. But as you continue, you do begin to hear the sounds of the oceans as you are getting close to your destination. But before we get there, does anybody wish to say or talk with anyone before we get there?
As he's walking, I think especially as the unknown amount of time passes, Merrick begins to change. See, the unfortunate thing is that Merrick's body was remade. It was divinely recrafted around his shade. He's just a shade wrapped in divinity. And so he is, you see that perm, that mullet perm that he has worn this whole time fall away to long, unkept, very textured hair with big, wide ringlets in it, and deep, sunken eyes. You see how he looked in IronPort for years and years and years. And as he travels, he doesn't seem to pay much mind to it because all he can think about is what Set said about asking what the weight of a soul is. And he feels in his hand a sword that he held when he was 8 years old. And all he can think is, that's the weight of my soul. That is the day my soul became unworthy forever.
I think to add on to it as well, it isn't just simply shadow coming off of you. For the others, it looks almost like a painting. As if an artist is stroking away the color, the fine points, like reversing a painting rather than creating one. Leaving only a trail almost of ink behind. As they continue, anyone else before we get to the shores?
I think Hector endures something similar. There's something discordant about his re-entering the Greek underworld. As if entering a border with the wrong documentation. It feels and sings wrong in this body of his, and I think probably Mallory and Marek notice it the first. This is sort of like boom, boom, strange vibration that sings off of his shoulder, off of his shin, and a glimmer, a shadow of a different form before it rings back into this form, this jacketed man with long brown hair, clean, mostly clean shaven with a bit of stubble and the crack tattoo on his chest. Maybe there was Hector of old for a millisecond. Maybe not. Maybe it's just all of the different sins that have yet to be claimed.
And I think as this is happening, Athena kind of gets close. Hector, your body is not particularly meant for this condition. We must hurry.
I understand, goddess.
I believe the second frame may be down here. We will be lucky indeed, my boy.
He nods, his typical enthusiasm for finding pieces for his goddess dulled. His purpose feels dull. All this time he thought he was haunted by the ghost of his wife, the sins that he had committed. It's worse than that. He failed his wife in the worst possible way as he thinks of that fiery figure in IronPort. What does he do now? He just quietly follows.
And Mallory, anything from you?
She mentioned it was loud. She hears voices. She can't really discern what they're saying, but the closer they draw, the more she hears. And always like at the corner of her eye, it's like she just knows if she turns, she can see someone, but they're never there. She walks with her head down, trying to ignore it. It's been a long time since she's felt this way.
And as you're
She didn't miss
going,
it.
as you're walking, a word becomes clear out of all of it. In a voice you have not heard for some time, but can't pinpoint for some reason as you hear the words Mallory. But as you look to see who says it, Set in the front goes, Mallory, this way. We are at the border. As you follow suit, you turn over one last dune and begin to see the river Styx, but more like an ocean here, as you see the waves crash onto this chromatic sand, and with it, rather than it being like water going over like this colorful rainbow sand, you see that any water the water or whatever water touches the sand, it devoids it, desaturates it of color, leaving these weird spots of black and white and chromatic colors beyond imagining. As you see its necrotic black waters and the sky above the river as well, leaves you with a sickly green fog that only feels your terror than anything. As you see, that is the veil between the Duat and the river Styx. Set kind of goes, well, fantastic. We are here.
Yay.
Now, a little bit more enthusiasm. We are crossing boundaries. We are adventurers in our prime.
I'd have more excitement if I didn't stand in the Acheron for millennia. And he just jumps on the boat. He runs towards the boat.
There is no
he's like, I'm
boats
done with
here.
you.
There's just it's almost like an ocean. So you're just kind of getting closer at this point.
Yeah. He wants to leave talking to Set.
Hector Hector steps up next to Set and says, "Stop needling him."
Know what you're gonna do, pretty boy?
Hmm.
Spear me to death? You tried it once, didn't take.
Hector looks him up and down. I know better than that. If I have to endure the conversation, what about payment? We can't cross the Styx without payment.
Well, that's gonna be a fun one, but we'll get to that when we get to the waters. Go on now. Enjoy your beach day.
He just kind of like sighs before turning back to look at Mallory to make sure she's still okay. She mentioned voices, and as he each 5 or so steps, he does glance behind to ensure that Mallory is still here. If it was loud in the duat for her, now that we've entered the Styx, I'm certain it'll only get worse.
You go past, and Set very much utters under his breath, "What a bunch of crybabies," and proceeds to move forward.
I think as he hears Hector walking up, you didn't have to do that.
Do what?
I deserve every bit of needling he gives me.
No, you don't. What happened
Welcome
happened.
home. And he motions out to the water.
Not the homecoming I was expecting.
I hate this place.
So do I. And I think in this moment, Hector and Marek hold that gaze. We meet our eyes and we just look at each other for a moment.
You and me on a shore, shoulder to shoulder.
I would say stranger things have happened, but it seems that that's not the case.
And he stops and he turns to look at you, square shoulders up to you and everything. All pretense of staring at the Styx goes away. Promise me something. O honorable Prince of Troy, son of Priam.
What would you
Don't let
have me
me get
promise you, Patroclus?
Don't let me get lost in there again.
Hector nods. I will leave here with you kicking and screaming.
You are an honorable man. I'm sorry that the gods cursed you with a destiny.
And Hector looks at you, and the heroism, the honor, the nobility that bleeds and forms the very bones of Hector of Troy crumble like Troy in front of you. The once proud kingdom fall to ruin in the blink of an eye, just like all that millennia ago. And the honorable, broken Hector of Troy looks at you and says, and I'm sorry that the gods decided that your life be a never-ending tragedy.
Some tragedies you make yourself. And he looks down at his right hand again, thinking of the weight of that sword.
And Hector will do something I don't think he's done throughout the entirety of the Doomsayers. And grip your right shoulder and squeeze it reassuringly.
Hmm.
Like we are young hoplites on the shores of battle. Our first battle in a 10-year-long war.
And you see another new thing. A ghost of a fond smile pull at the corner of Patroclus's lips. And he straightens up, gives your arm just a pat,
Mm.
and then turns back to look for Mallory.
Mallory approaches, and with that set goes, well, I think it's time we got started. And with that, you see, proceeds to take 2 gold coins from almost out of thin air. Been saving these bad boys for a while. Gets close to the water, and with it begins to utter an ancient Greek, and simply, ding, the 2 gold coins. And as he does, there is a moment of silence, if anything. And then you hear it. An oar hitting the water. You try to see where it is coming from, but there is such a thick mist. You don't know where it is, and the water that was once roaring onto this shore calms down, as if the tides mean nothing, and it turns into that of a lake rather than an ocean. But soon, out of the mist, you see the boatman. Their long tatter robe, their face you cannot see as there is such a low visibility. Only the nose you can see, which is more pointed and refined. Everything else covered in darkness, giving away no emotion, just his paddle. And with it, as he gets forward and beaches his boat, you hear his voice. Not in a way that you would assume. I am the boatman. Pleasure to meet you. My ask is relatively simple. I just need payment, sweet payment, you see. 2 gold coins and a trip for thee. As he extends his palm out, Set proceeds to give him his coins and goes, now, this is the fun part. You're gonna have to figure out your own way on the boat. This is gonna be interesting to watch.
Hector, watching this in the moment of silence, thought to himself, surely we're short of like 4 other people's change here in the
You do
underworld.
notice Athena kind of goes, sorry, and kind of proceeds to give their own coins.
You can see this rise in anxiety come over Patroclus. And he begins to just search every pocket, looking for anything. Because he's not getting lost again. He won't do it. He's going to find coins somewhere in his pockets. He will keep looking and looking.
You proceed to pat down, try your best. At this point, Set amusing himself. Oh, boatman, I don't think they have payment. You see the head cocks in your direction. Is it true? You have no payment?
Please have mercy.
What would you ask of us?
No payment. Quite a conundrum. Yet I see there's one among ya. Pleasure to meet ya, Valerie, I see. A pleasure to meet ya under our wing. If you seek passage, I see. Let's play a game. It's simple, I'll tell you. A simple wager, I'll explain. Quite so. Simple wager, I'll explain right now. You, and it points to all of you, giving a great breath and echo, almost as if a power is being exhumed in this moment. You come aboard and hear me sing. While aboard you will sing to me. Resist my waters and you will win. Resist my waters if you want to live. If you win, I'll take you home. But if you lose, I'll bear you myself. Think long. Think hard. Make a decision as one. When you're ready, come aboard. When you're ready, we'll go on. As he almost like gives one of the logs out to you rather than the other 2 which just climbed aboard. As if you can go on and the game will begin.
Merrick looks to Mallory.
I swear. And she looks between Hector and Merrick. That you will make it out of here. You're not supposed to be here.
We will make it out of here. You and your boy included.
Okay. Okay.
And with 2 promises that he will return, Merrick takes a deep breath and steps aboard.
That
So
is
does
one.
Hector also steps
Awesome.
aboard.
That is two. And three to boot. Now get ready. And you hear an echo. Ready. We shall go. Let us sing a great song. And with it, pushes his boat. And you all find yourselves in the thick of this mist. It is quiet for a moment as you hear him hum, but below on the sides the water begins to glow. Light greens, teals, and blues. From all around you see the blues. Spirits begin to come out of the water. The colorful sands of the Ruat disappear in the back, and as you escape into the mist, you find yourself open to the caravan, carven areas of obsidian black stone with an overlaid luminescence of green. As you proceed forward. And in this instance, while some of you are not of the musical vernacular, you do find that your words, whatever you do say, are quite important now that you are on the boatman's boat. And soon he begins his tune. Welcome to Tartarus, it's not a kind place. Welcome to Tartarus, where souls make haste. You're in it now, you're on my boat. You're in it now, without hope. It makes me wonder why you came below. It makes me wonder why you came alone. It means to look in your direction as he gets closer and looks to you, Mallory. No, Mallory, Mallory, as you hear an echo from the back. Oh, Mallory, oh, Mallory, how sweet and dumb can you be? Oh, Mallory, Mallory, oh, Mallory, Mallory, how sweet and dumb can you be? Daughter of Hades, oh, niece to Zeus, oh, a tree rotten to its roots, oh, you have neglected your people, you see, oh, you have neglected your responsibilities, oh, Mallory, you rejected us, don't you see? Oh, Mallory, this is the pain that is inside of thee. If you listen, maybe Ricky would have lived. If you listened, maybe you would have been there for him. Maybe you could have been there for him. And in this moment, Mallory, you feel that if you need to give a response, a rebuttal of some kind, as you feel this is part of the game, the wager that you are playing. So in this instance, for Mallory and Mallory alone at this moment, how do you respond to the boatman's claims and snipes?
She has tears in her eyes at the end of the verse, and her hand grips the side of the boat. given a burden that was not my own. Given a task. I must atone for the sins of my father. Yes. And I shall, if passage is safely granted.
In this instance, I will need you to go toe-to-toe with the boatman. As your song reverberates, and I will say this is going to be, I want to say, -3, due to the fact that Death has its eye on you. I'm sorry, actually -2, not 3. Death has its eye on you, and you don't feel anything anymore.
No, she doesn't. Alright, so let's do leave the light on. They're my world. And can I do underworld contact?
You might want to save that.
Fair.
Use
No,
it,
that's
it goes
fair.
away.
That's fair.
Remember
That's
when you're
fair.
saying that Merrick just,
That's a good
hey,
point.
don't do that yet.
Maybe not yet. All right, yeah, I'll do leave the light on. They're my world, and you said it's dark here.
It is dark here, yeah.
Well, as of the witnessing of Ricky's brutal murder, she has unlocked something, a new mythos, divination. And when she is in darkness, her powers tend to be stronger. So
you get a +1 to this. That's going to be your last one.
It's a 6.
It's a 6. With it, as you do, you feel the boatman's words win this round, this verse, as you shrink in self-pity and wallow, as the boatman, though you cannot see all his features, gives a bit of a smirk. Is that all that you have? I'm quite disappointed, but let us continue our journey forth it. And proceeds to go further in. At this point, the mist clears, and at this point, the water turns from just illuminated green, but more of like a green slime. And with it, you see almost reaching out, trying to grasp onto all of you, these spirits that are trying to make their way, screaming in pain. You hear Marek, Hector, Mallory, as they all try to grasp for you. And with it, the boatman turns his eyes not to you, Mallory, as he is done with you and your games, but to your companions. Oh, Mallory, Mallory, oh, Mallory, Mallory, how sweet and dumb can you be? Oh, Mallory, Mallory, oh, Mallory, Mallory, how sweet and dumb can you be? You have companions, oh, oh, let's not them hanging, oh, oh, let's examine these ancient toys. Proceeds to look to Hector. First there is Hector, sweet Hector, my boy, ho, ho, a prince lost in time, ho, ho. Hector tried to be a great hero, but instead he became a great zero. I'm surprised you sleep at all at night. I'm surprised you sleep and don't hear the screams at night. And then we move on to Marek. Marek, as he gives a bit of a disdain to Marek's name. Don't even get me started on Marek, oh Marek. Don't even get me started on his antics. A failed commander is what he truly is. A failed lover who deserved none of it. All I do now is watch him bark. He only barks like a hound in the night, and all that wasted potential keeps him from his light. And with that, in this instance, look over to the two of you. How does Hector and Merrick respond to the boatman's tripes?
Hector does feel the needling jabs of the boatman. They ring true to him. And I think that is how he responds. Oh, boatman, you speak true. I am Hector, the fallen prince of Troy. I just sit here on your boat, and I'll proceed forward with you. So I think what's happening here is Hector is accepting the jabs, but he is persisting in spite of it.
Looks over to you, Merrick. How do you respond?
Merrick doesn't take it as easily. Oh, boatman, I'm just an unwanted son of kings and heroes. I never asked for this. I was never worthy of him. No, I was never worthy of him.
Toe-to-toe from each of you, +1 just for singing with me. No shade at all to Calamity, but +1. But I will
right.
say, for Merrick, I'm going to say incomplete without him, so -1 for you,
Oh,
and
yeah.
for you,
Rip.
Hector.
I mean,
You are-
there's so many you could use.
I'm gonna be too harsh. I'm gonna say let's do 2. Plagued by regrets and damned by the divine. I think. with this
Great.
one. So
So I'm doing
-1.
Rage Against Destiny,
Mhm.
Voyager of the Underworld,
Mm-hmm.
famously ill-fated, and always beside him with a -1.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
+3.
And what about you,
Okay.
Hector? What are you doing?
Oh, great. I am going to use Prince of Troy. Behind every great man. An honorable virtue. So +3. +3 -2, so just +1, right? Yep.
It's a 9 from me.
9.
No.
Whoa!
Both-
Really? Oh, yeah, that seems about right.
Too wet. With that 9, you get to choose one of below. So either you achieve your goal, or take something in nature. Either you get them good and give them a status. In this instance, you can do that as well with the power you had, or you can block, dodge, or counter their attempts. AKA, you cannot get phased by the boatman's quips in this instance. So I leave it up to you what you two want to do.
I want to accomplish my goal.
Okay, accomplish your goal, and then for you, Hector.
I want to deal with the quips, so like successfully counter or defend.
With that, you begin to emanate your response, and almost as if a shockwave emanates from both of you. The boatman has to come back and hold themselves centered, and even some of the spirits that were around the boat scatter a bit as the boatman smiles and looks to you, Mallory. This is it? I'm disappointed. I thought you would bring bigger guns. Instead, you brought bigger slums. Seized. You are quite good at this game, I must say, but it is time we get to the final game. So listen close to what I will say, and listen close to my versity. Oh, Mallory, Mallory, oh, Mallory, Mallory, how sweet and dumb can you be? Oh, Mallory, Mallory, oh, Mallory, Mallory, how sweet and dumb can you be? Now, and with that you feel the passage begins to narrow. No longer different ways or passageways to go, but a straight line that begins to open up to a massive dome with a massive lake in the middle. The green coming off of the water being the only source of life, of light. Hush, 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 hush. We are here, you are here, at the breath of the river there. You will be tested of your will, and it's time to pay your bill. Now listen, now weep, for the souls want to communicate. So, hush, 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 listen, 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 listen to the waters and its business. Before we go in, would any of you like to prepare yourselves for what comes next, or are you going to take it as it comes?
I don't think Merrick has anything other than to be in the moment, listen to the boatman.
Fantastic. Hector?
Hector thinks he is prepared. He's been haunted by the ghosts of Troy his entire afterlife. What could they throw at him that he has not thought about or faced? So what he is doing, perhaps to his detriment, is focusing on Merrick and his promise to him to keep him safe and to get him out of here.
Fantastic. And Mallory, how about you?
Mallory is feeling the effects of the first verse. She approached it like she does everything else, saying things will be fine and just trusting that it would follow through. But that's how she got to where she was. So she looks nervously at the water.
Fantastic. And with it, your boat begins to roll. But as it does, you feel the waters begin to call to you. And Hector, you are the first to notice as you hear a voice you have not heard in millennia. Hector! Hector! Is that my boy? My sweet Hector! And you see coming from the side of the boat, extending a hand towards you, the almost zombified version, jaw hanging off, dust and wind, age, approaching your father with his crown crooked and looking towards you. It is me, oh father, we missed you, your boy. It is me, oh father, that man that taught you, boy. I am here with your mother and your sisters, they're close. I am here with your brothers and your son, so please come close. So please come home. Please come to us. Please come home. Please come home. And as that is happening simultaneously on the other side, Marek, you see approaching out, spear in hand, shield, trying to do its best in a salute. Commander! Commander! Is that you, our starboard commander? We have missed you on the battlefield with your brothers. We have missed you. He has missed you in his tent among his lovers. Come now, come quick. We need you. He needs you. Come now, quick. Reclaim what feeds you. Come now, quick, before the waters bait. As those are happening to you, Mallory, you notice that nothing comes to you. Almost as if nothing here can tantalize you, even though you know in your heart of hearts there is someone. So in this trek, it is almost like you are responsible in this instance for these two. But in that instance, I need Marek and Hector. Roll me danger, please.
Oh, jeez. I have to roll with things, don't I?
You do.
Rage Against Destiny, Voyager of the Underworld, famously ill-fated.
And then incomplete.
Rot in War,
Mhm.
and Sated by Heroic Deeds.
I'm going to give you -2 for Loner and incomplete without him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then for you, Hector.
Right. Yep. I will invoke Poised Amidst Doom, Prince of Troy. Wow, the rest really don't help me. Bring glory to Troy. I think those are the only 3 that I can use. Yep.
All right, -2 from the previous one, so you're at a +1.
Yep.
And then Mallory, what are you doing in this instance? As they're facing danger, is there anything you're doing in your instance, or are you waiting for whatever happens between these two before you make your move?
I would like to be able to help if I can.
Fantastic. I will say, let's change the game here. So in this instance, if you roll this, you will see be able to help people. So let's see what you get.
So wait, what am I doing?
You're rolling change the game, so you can still add your stuff.
Change the
It's
game.
just
Okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Val, did your dice say, haha, what if we tell a funny story instead?
Yes.
Oh no.
Cool.
Yes.
Oh no.
I don't really want to go swimming, but okay.
If I have to. I'm going to use can I use Are You Afraid of the Dark again?
Mhm.
And I'd also like to use one of my Ooh. You've got one of those faces I trust.
Gotcha. Still -2 because you are lost in between. Death does his ideation, so it's gonna be straight.
This is true. That is a 7. Why am I rolling like this today?
7
Okay.
is not bad. If I do
I got a
so
9.
myself. 9, fantastic. So 9, 7. What about you, Hector? What did you
5.
get? A 5. Lovely.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw you off the boat
lovely.
myself.
No.
5. Yep.
So with that, I'm gonna say status to you, Merrick. This is going to be, I want to say, let's make it a 1 right now, and just call maybe traumatize is a good word to use in terms of.
Oh, Marek or
seeing-
for me?
Merrick.
For me.
'Cause,
Okay, Merrick.
he
Rip.
does get a status, but it's -1. For you, you're getting two status here, Hector, and
Great.
tantalized is what you are going to get, as you feel that you need to go into the water. So I'll start off with Hector here. How do you respond to your father who is slowly going back into the water?
Don't mind me. Let me just click 2 pips and tantalize. Hector had his 75% of his attention on Merrick, the remaining on Mallory. And as soon as he hears King Priam's voice, his eyes pan back towards his father, the rotting visage of his father. His eyes glaze over, and Hector is reduced to a boy right before everyone's eyes. And tears well up in his eyes as he hears his father, the voices of his brothers, his mother in there. He thinks about the smell of the stone of Troy, the feeling of the sand beneath his sandals, the neighing of the horses. And tears well up in his eyes as he meekly sings, Father, Father, your son is here. Father, Father, please forgive your boy. He is lost, so lost. But I'm here. I'm here now. And he falls to his knees. Father, Father, please forgive your son. And he pulls his hand towards Priam.
Move over to Merrick. How do you respond as you're able to resist itself, still though traumatized?
My brothers, I never had a family. You were my kin, and you gave your blood for a war I never wanted. No, I never wanted. And as he looks out to them and says these words, he loses more time. It falls away, and he is covered in mud and war and grease and grime as he joins his brothers back in war, the thing that made him the only place he's ever had a family. And instead of pulling him in, they make him remember that the first place he ever felt like he belonged was among the Myrmidons, among these men. And it took dying and hearing of how they revered him in his death and honored him for him to realize how much he had taken it for granted. So seeing them is not something to be afraid of. It galvanizes him.
As you succeed, Mallory see Merrick is able to hold back, but Hector is being pulled in, and you see that this ghostly spirit, while Hector may see his father, it is more of just a faceless shade pulling him into this water. So what are you doing in this instance? Or how are you helping out Hector here in this instance?
Mallory is going to stand in the middle of the boat and put a hand on Hector's shoulder and look to the boatman. As Melanoe, daughter of death, I command passage safely for my companions and myself. Open my gates. Let us in and never question my power again.
With that, the boatman looks to you for a second. Hector, You feel your skin becoming to almost as if the water is desaturating you. Almost if you're left in a bathtub for too long, you begin to get wrinkles. But in this instance, the boatman smiles. And with it, Hector, you are pulled back. And the boat begins to open. Oh, Mallory! Mallory! Oh, Mallory! Mallory! It is nice to finally meet thee. Oh, Mallory! Oh, Mallory! Oh, Mallory! Oh, Mallory! Oh, welcome home when you finally get to see what we've been fighting for, what we've been looking for, what we wish you were here, and now you are, so welcome home. Let me be the first you to welcome you to your home. And as he does, the portal that begins to open forward, and you begin to see the vestige of a city. As the water is still green and sickly, but as it opens up, you see what looks like to be a necropolis. A city that is upside down in nature versus right side up. Skyscrapers and all, and looking like something out of a theater musical, if anything. With its large city, its bright light shining as a beacon for all the lost souls that travel on the side with you. Let me be the first to welcome you home, Mallory. Let me be the first to row along thee. It's too long since I had some fun. Too long it's been since I had a show. But you don't disappoint. You're just like your father in all the best ways. But you just don't disappoint. You are truly like no other. So welcome home, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. And you find yourself parked up alongside. And with that, we're going to take a quick break as the curtains go to the side here. With the curtains pan back, and hello, welcome back. Hi, everyone. With that, let's not waste any more time and get back to the Doomsayers. As we find our group now at the edge of a dock, not anywhere where anybody can see them, as the boatman has left and set. Getting off the boat gives very much a round of applause. Oh my god. Well, that was great. I
Don't.
love dinner and a show.
Merrick storms off the boat.
I must say, I think there's a Tony or Emmy or whatever the award is in for you.
He just flips him off as he keeps walking.
I think Hector was, because he was on his knees reaching out to not Priam, but Priam in his mind. And as Mallory saves his goddamn life, he's kind of like on his ass, panting, reeling. And he looks up at you, Mallory. You saved me.
Made a promise, didn't I?
Hector smiles, looks at the river Styx, and there is a pull in the inside of his mind that existed before, but is heightened now in this place. As he gets up, dusts himself off, and walks off the boat after Marek, who is currently flipping off set.
With that, you see that Set goes, well, now, children, we have to be quiet now. Athena, if you be so kind, my dear, and open the sewers, we are going to have to go to Shade Town. All right, though I wouldn't. Hold your nose if you think the sewers in the mortal realm suck. This is gonna suck more. And with that, you see that they use their spear and cut what looks like to be a hole. Pull out the first frame that you have gotten from before and inserts it in and breaking it, though not dropping it to the floor, almost like if it's floating past. And you see what's before you, you get hit with a wave of a smell. It isn't dead, but it isn't, alive. It's just this very horrid smell of the worst thing you've ever smelled in your life, times 10. Each different to each one of your own idea of what that is. But in front of you, you see what looks like to be a sewer of that green, slimish water just gooping out at this point as you make a new entrance into the system. As Athena goes, all right, quick, follow me.
Hector follows.
Yeah. Merrick jumps in. He doesn't even hold his nose. This is not the worst smell he's ever smelled.
Sploosh, splash. The sounds that are made as you go into this tunnel. You see that it's very much Greek in nature with a little bit more of modernness in it, as it's built in a way, but decorated like the old ways. A source of light is the torches that burn bright green and emanate off your face. But as you continue to go down forward, you find yourselves at the precipice of what looks like to be a door. It is ethereal in nature, not made of any steel, but yet you can't see past it. And as Athena touches it with their hand, the lock dissipates, and the door begins to slink back. And before you, you see what is known as Shade Town. You find yourself in what looks like to be the catacombs, the crypts of what used to be the old city, what used to be where shades of the ancient Greeks would come when they died. Above is something more modern, more eloquent, more for the times, but here is where it all began. There is no sunlight, only paths of life from the crippling sort of ruins that are from the top act as the only source of light in between. But down here, it gives more of a shantytown vibe, as there is various makeshift hovels and homes, fire pits everywhere, and lost souls going about trying to find purpose in life. Set goes, "One moment, please," and proceeds to touch the ground. And as it does, you see his ears begin to perk and form into golden dog ears as he listens out. "Yes, we're going to the right." Pulls his hand forward and follows suit. The souls don't acknowledge you. For the most part, they don't care about you, or they think you're just another figment of their imagination. I think as you go through this, Merrick, you can feel more of yourself dropping, and at this point, almost like Walking Dead style, when a zombie recognizes another zombie, they very much look at you in the direction and give you acknowledgement before going about their task, their lives.
As he's walking, he realizes that he's leaving a trail. And he looks down, and the hole in his gut left there by another member of our party that never healed because it killed him just slowly leaks. Just green, ethereal light. Like a slow waterfall of fog falling out of him as he walks through.
With that, as you guys continue to walk forward, you find yourself at the precipice of a home. It's almost built like a Stonehenge style, where it is these large stones that form this little hovel, and there is just like a ripped curtain of some sort of banner laying there as a door to separate everyone from the outside. But inside, you hear scribbling, and you hear the familiar voice of Apollo. Set in the front goes, "Well, you should go talk to him."
Huh.
Hector closes his eyes and sighs painfully, both out of actual literal pain, because once again we see this dissonance between the mortal flesh that Hector is inhabiting versus this sort of like light, sickly green allure of a wound on his neck where he was killed. And we see him kind of like fuss at it with his fingers quietly. And the second Apollo's name was said, we see Hector. Right. Of course we do.
Athena kind of goes forward. "While you talk to Apollo, I'll see if we can find ourselves an exit in case we need it."
That might be smart.
Yes, goddess.
"Do well, and don't hurt the pretty boy."
No promises.
Hector just raises an arm as if he will try.
So with that, who goes in first?
Christ.
Well, I will say, unless someone stops him, Merrick is walking. I will say also, we know what will happen if Merrick is the first one to get to him.
We know. Yep, we are aware. I'm just thinking about how Hector's gonna feel about all this because yikes. Uh, I think Hector does go up to talk to Apollo, and old habits die hard as he steps forward. And he looks at Mallory almost for like emotional support as he begins. Lord Apollo?
You going forward?
Yep. And because he's furiously scribbling something, right? So he's maintaining maybe a meter of distance as he calls out, Lord Apollo.
You go in, expecting the regalness, the composure, the, if I say so myself, suave nature of Apollo. But instead, what you find, someone in a tattered robe cloak scribbling on the wall over and over and over again in various variations. Do you hear the screams? And as you go, Lord Apollo, it does not respond. It just continues to mutter to itself and scribbling as it is very much in an arched position, almost like Gollum, just writing with this stone bare in hand as it's bleeding, as he's just writing this over and over as the words cover the entirety of this place.
Apollo!
Hey, Apollo!
Who you see turn around. His face is like magma in a sense of like that crushed rock with pieces in between of lava rock. His eyes are not there, only the glowing embers of the fire. As he goes, who are you? I don't freaking know you. Do I know you?
You got fucked up.
What's happening to him?
Happening to me, already happened, has happened, will happen, continue happening. Do you hear the screams? I hear the screams. Do you hear the screams? I hear the screams. I hear the screams as he continues to go back forward.
Can't hide
Hector.
behind his money here.
Hector looks at the other two and then over to Set, who's probably having the time of his goddamn life over there. And just says, why is his shade like that?
I guess.
Why? You ask why? As he turns back around this time and proceeds to very much crawl towards you, not even walk. You want to know why I'm like this? You want to know why? I look like fire incarnate. Troy, that's right. Oh.
Oh.
We. As he looks into the flames. Made a weapon. I'm the weapon. Did the weapon. Made the freaking weapon again. Did it again.
You muted, my love.
I am muted. Merrick pulls down his shirt and is laughing as he does so. Oh, I've seen your weapons. And where in the normal world it would just look like he's got almost like a gold tattoo across his chest, here in the underworld, it is a bright white piercing of divinity that lights out of his chest where Apollo shot him the day he died. I've seen what your fucking weapons do.
That is my weapon, but not the weapon. Oh, Pandora, that freaking girl, I tell ya, they know how to make a boom. They said the box right. They said it was a weapon to control mortals, but why would you make a freaking bomb that would hurt us, huh? Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to thee?
Besides everyone, who would specifically want that, do you think?
I mean, who wouldn't want a freaking box that you can use to make a divinity like that, huh? You can capture the souls of an old freaking god, make it into your own, and become this weird mixed freaking thing, right? I mean, maybe a lover, maybe your brother, huh? Maybe someone in power, huh? Oh, those tricky bastards up there, huh? Enough is never enough. They're all scared. You ever wonder, huh? You ever wonder why, as they get really close to all of you, one in your faces? Ever wonder why the old gods are the only ones that are around, huh? Because you limey fucks, you feed them with your fear and your devotion. It's the only reason why they're still kicking around. You're scared of Zeus, you're scared of Morgan, of Mashara. They were scared of Frey before, Troy took them out. But it's fear that motivates them. But the more you get technology, the more you learn, the less you freaking fear. And that is what they're scared of. You're so great. You see a tribunal. No, that's why they made the bomb. The big boy.
So they're responsible for my wife, for his men. In that amalgamation, it is them.
Look, I know you're not too big of a genius, but that's not what I'm talking about here. You're thinking crumbs. Yes, there are mortals who die, and there was a whole freaking story about your wife and your boyfriend, whatever the hell you want to call it, and your father at some point, Mallory. I think Mallory. That's more crumbs. What I'm talking about is death. I'm talking about taking the soul, the energy, the very essence of divinity, and making it your own. Now.
Talking about that fucking coffin thing.
Oh, no.
Box.
That's where they try to hide it. That's where they try to hide Troy. Now, that was a failed experiment from day one. But, it had its uses. Experimentally, I thought it was quite wise.
Hey,
Who made Troy?
Yeah, they all did, in a sense. Pandora partly responsible, so you know how she kept all the rolls of the world in a freaking box? Well, they thought maybe if they could make themselves into vessels like that, right? That they could become powerful to continue going on, to win wars and all that. So, it's an experiment. We needed to find an event that had such freaking tragedy, that brought such pain, that the souls of the people involved in that conflict couldn't come back. And with that, I think, right quick, we lost Val for a second, so if anything, I think we may come right back. So, our lovely tech producer, can you bring us to the... Sorry about that, folks. Technology doesn't want us to learn about lore today. It had enough with a musical. But with that, where was I? Ah, yes. It was an experiment, right? So, we found out, well, hey, there's Troy. You get all those people who died on both sides, the whole freaking city gone. That's enough to maybe power something. So, we put all the souls of Troy that we could find and put them into a body, in a sense.
We?
Pandora and a bunch of other folk. This was
And
an early
you.
experiment. Well, they needed somebody to fund it. And my father thought, my mother, my father, whatever you want to call it, decided that it would be a good idea that I finance in case anything went wrong. And it didn't take. We couldn't spark life into the thing, almost like a fucked up Frankenstein. And it was a failure. Nothing really happened of it, so we just tossed the body into a realm in which it wouldn't be fucked with.
Except for the
Street-
souls. What about the souls?
Well, we couldn't get them out, so we just tossed them in the black oblivion hole that is the Eldritch Horrors domain. It was Turlock.
You're gonna punch him, or
Merrick-
should I?
Merrick jumps at him.
Fantastic. Jump as in like you sideswipe him or you just pounce on him?
No, he's gonna attack him. He's gonna punch him in the face.
Fantastic. No rule necessary. You just whoop,
Yeah.
bah, and he goes. Why are you hitting me?
That was my Achilles you put in there. My Myrmidons, my people.
Screams.
His people. His family. His loved ones are in there. And you just threw them where?
Dreamless place. But then something happened. Someone let him out, and it sparked. It's impossible. It happened. And I saw its eyes, and I heard its screams. They were in pain, and they're looking for revenge. It's horrifying, but it's glorious.
Punches him again.
But it's looking for something and wants revenge. It wants that. You see Athena kind of comes in, and as you do, he points to the frame.
Why?
Your box?
Complete the box. You make the WMD that we made, and you can use that bad boy and all that. But I find it curious. I don't even know where the third piece is, though. I know where the second one is. Yeah. No, it doesn't matter. He kind of shrugs you off. I'm here. I'm lost. I'm not really here. I'm not really lost. I'm sorry. Who are you again? I've lost my memory.
Just a shade that you should have fucking killed right the first time. And Merrick's going to turn and leave before he punches Apollo again.
Hector kneels, looking at Apollo, and there is such rage inside. It takes every ounce of the prince's willpower to even enunciate the words he is about to say. For a god, the sins of your back are beyond description. You may be a broken, cracked, burning shade in front of me. My people once worshipped you. You were our arrow to strike true. You were our light, our sun. I fucked it all up. But you get to make a choice right now. To be that again, or to waste away like this for the rest of eternity. So what does the Shade of Apollo want to do?
SDNX, I don't know why you're speaking like your dad. It's stupid. It doesn't
did
make
you
any
s-
sense.
What did you say to me?
SDNX, that's your fucking name. You've been acting freaking weird ever since you came back from your fucking trip. But you
Hector
forget your bride
looks.
too? Are you, huh?
Hector looks at Athena for a moment as he tries to piece together what is just said to him. Bride? SDNX? What are you talking about? Make some sense.
Look, and as you do, you see a spear go through his chest. That's Athena.
Goddess!
Now, he was clearly out of his mind, Hector. He put
But
him out of his misery.
but the frame, the location, Enid!
I know where the frame is. I was able to piece it together. I can feel its presence.
Can you? Then why did we
Mallory.
come here first?
Well, clearly to learn of things. We've learned a great deal.
Indeed, we have.
But the boy. Goddess, you know the location of the boy?
I am assuming that if it is in a place of paramount, it will be in your father's palace. I think I may know a way there. But we must hurry, Hector. Time is among the essence.
Yes. Yes. And Hector stands up. Mallory, he is 100% disoriented. I would like to further my tantalized status.
Okay. Going to, I want to say a 3 now.
Yep, a 3.
Let's do disoriented now. As you are walking out, before you walk out, Mallory, Athena puts their hand forward. I don't know what you saw, Mallory, but understand this. He needs to be of level mind and head if you ever want to see your son again. It is the wise thing to do.
For who?
For all of us. For our son, I hope that you wish to have a mortal life, not a dead one.
And what do you get from all of this? Why are you even here?
I lost my seat of power, dear child. You cannot know what it's like to lose a part of you. I will get it back, and Hector will help, and in turn I will help Hector. But I don't need Hades' daughter fucking it up for me.
Hector and Merrick are getting out of the underworld in one piece. And if you do anything to change that, the seat's gonna be the last of your worries.
All I see is a pup without bite, but consider us in agreement. And as you two do a stare down, you immediately hear one of the sections from above collapse down. dust, and you hear Set go, "Ah, crap! I thought they would have more time." All right, hurry! We have to leave. Athena, if you know a freaking way out of this, I think we should go now.
Hector
go.
snaps out of it, like I think with Marek's voice, and summons his shield. Right, and rushes and takes the rear point, as usual.
With that, you hear somebody go, "Oh crap! It's the Furies!" And
Oh,
as you guys
fuck.
take a quick second and look behind, you see the Furies. None of you are familiar with, as it is a new generation, but you see they are a mixture of drag in a sense, various colors, shimmering and shining, almost like galactic stardust on them, variations of teal, red, and a bit of blue. Their wings flared out, covered in metal, and at this moment they are looking. Now, where are those pesky mortals? Fan out, sisters, as they begin to fly off and begin to look. At this moment, I'm gonna need everyone here to give me a sneak around, if you be so kind.
Yes, please.
Necropolis, with all of your amazing columns, protect me.
Agree.
Wow, I sure do not have a lot of things for stealthing, huh? I sure don't have a lot of things for stealth.
Buddy.
I
Well,
have
okay.
heavy armor.
I have Voyager of the Underworld.
Okay.
Famously ill-fated.
Okay.
Friendly Shadows, and Rot in War.
Okay.
Okay. Great. I think for me, I will choose Poised Amidst Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And maybe the goddess Athena. She's
I mean,
here.
yeah, right there.
She's
Stop
helping us
dragging your
out of
feet.
here.
Stop dragging your feet.
All right, +2.
+2. And then what about you, Mallory?
I will do spectral movement. Are you afraid of the dark? Because I imagine we'd be sticking to shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, didn't see you there.
Fantastic. Roll that, and then I'll go one by one to see what we get here.
Who's first?
I'm gonna go. Let's do Kai. Kai, you're up first.
That is an 11.
Ooh, baby. All right, fantastic. So succeed. Hector, what about you?
5.
Got a 5.
I got a 5.
Fantastic. Mallory, what about you?
It's a 9.
9. All right, so the only person I'm gonna ask anything more of is for you, Mallory. You're able to complete sneaking away, but I have to choose one here. Let's see. I'm gonna choose your proceed by secondary sense. As you're stealthing through, you are walking, and as you do, you hear that voice again. Mallory. And it clicks in your mind, Mallory. It's your father. But with that, you still have to stealth, and as you're doing it, Hector, you're like trying to go through. For the rest of them, you all see that you're heading towards a tunnel in which 2 of you make it no problem. But Hector, as you're going through, you see one of the Furies throws their wings almost like daggers towards you as it puts you onto a nearby wall as they well,
Hector!
if you aren't a tall glass of steel.
Furies.
What's
me
your name,
pass.
pretty boy?
Hector of Troy.
Finally here to die.
I'm sorry to disappoint, but not quite yet. I will be soon, though. Consider this a... And I think there's a moment where he like glances and sees like the bullet time moment of like Mallory and Marek catching that he's been caught, and he says, "Consider this an IOU."
Hector, are you doing anything, or are you letting this happen?
I'm trying to negotiate my way out of this as
To the
Hector of Troy.
Furies?
Yeah, I'm coming back at some point, just not right now.
I'm gonna make this interesting for you, my dear boy.
Sure.
I'm gonna roll a d20. I'm gonna need you to give me even or odd.
If that doesn't work, I have an idea of what he's gonna try and
Mhm.
do, but for now he's
Just
gonna try and
a quick
appeal to
look.
their better natures.
So
So
even or odd
D20?
for me. And
Oh,
I'm
even
doing. I
odd.
rolled this, so even or odd.
Even.
Fantastic. With that, you are caught. The others are literally can't get anywhere close. At this point, you see that Set at this point is like, well, too bad for him, let's go. And with that, Athena goes, we can't just leave. What do you want to do? And in this moment, Merrick and Mallory, you see a figure right above Hector, sitting on a gargoyle Batman style, begins to jump off, glides down, and with their front 2 feet, kick the Fury off to the side. As they have to put their wing into the ground. And with that, you see, using the only one hand that they have, as you see the other one is gone, they take a spear and cut all of it off, as you hear, you should go now.
Hector peels himself off, like pulls out bits of daggered feather off of him, and as he begins to move, as he runs, there's a moment where he turns around to look at this person's face. What do I see?
Nothing yet. As you attempt to look, you see one of the daggers almost comes close to your face. And with that, they go, you fucking idiot. And with that, you see they begin to whisper. And with that, you see various shades' ears. You can hear whispers of attack, kill them. You want to do this. Chaos. And with that, they proceed to go onto the Fury, following you suit.
Hector runs. He needs to get out of here, and he promised Marek and Mallory that he would help. So he feels that the warm blood trickling down his cheek as he runs back over towards Marek, Mallory, Athena, and Set.
With that, you coming through, this last person that's defending you, you see the other Furies kind of coming close, suit. But with that, this mysterious figure makes sure all of you are in, and immediately just breaks one side of a monument as it begins to fall, and pushes the rest of you in as they follow suit. You see Set kind of getting up. Hey, everybody, okay?
Mallory?
Yeah. Fine.
Hector!
Here. Who are you?
No one to you, but to you, as they walk forward in between Mallory and Merrick, slowly beginning to pull their hood back, and then motion towards Merrick. Your loyal general. And we hear uttered from the mouths of Athena, Eris?
Fuck.
And that is where we shall end our episode for today. Yay! Yay, everyone! With that, another wonderful episode of the Doomsayers. As you can see, I've broken my cast again. I keep breaking my toys. Is that a good thing? But with that in mind, thank you for everybody for joining us, and we're going to do plugs here in reverse order. So with that in mind, Hector, Val, please tell the people where they can find you on the internet and who you playing for these evenings.
Uh, yeah, sure. Hi everyone, I'm Valiant Dorian. I use he of his pronouns. You can find me or on the internet at Valiant Dorian or also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. Tonight I had the distinct pleasure of playing Hector of Troy, question mark, who uses he, him pronouns. In terms of plugs, you can find me on Saturdays over on Transparent RPG on our second main campaign, the Chaos Protocol, where I play Sayir, this time a vampire. And there's so much mess going on in that particular campaign. So if you like the mess here, oh boy, would you love chaos. In terms of other content I'm producing during this time, I'm also the host of Dicey Banner. We're a TTRPG talk show. We talk to all the makers and shakers in the TTRPG space. We've got a couple of episodes left before the start of the holidays. And you can also tune into my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AutoSpiritBear, for some fun holiday-based content, where we will be making holiday-themed games as well as crafting for a nice, relaxing sort of like co-working stream. And keep an eye out on 2025 for some new shows that I'll be producing. And with that, I'm going to pass it on over to Calamity.
Oh, hello, I'm Calamity. You can find me all over the internet as Hey Calamity with 3 Y's at the end. I do all kinds of stuff in the space. Most recently, been working here on Doomsayers. I'm not currently part of any other shows, but I do have a couple of one-shots and little things coming out here and there over the next couple of weeks. I would say for my stuff, keep an eye on my socials because 2025 is going to be full of a lot of announcements. So keep an eye out for those.
Hi everyone, I'm Kai. You can find me all over the internet as a style of Imladris. I'm shooketh. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm not scared at all. Haha. You can find me on Tuesday over on Happy Jack's RPG playing Mouse Ritter. We're in a series called What About Bob's, where I'm playing a very serious character named Bob and Lure. Yep. And then you can find me on Thursday over on Bad House RPG with Sun and Change, which was a Tales of the Valiant game through the Cobalt Create series, where I play a horrible man named Hoshiro who doesn't at all have a thing for death. And then I'll be back on the Chaos Protocol on Saturday, also as a vampire, as Mr. Zanin-ish, who is doing great and having a grand old time, honestly, in a city of vampires. There's no drama there. Everything's perfect. And then I'll be back here, causing no problems, and not freaking out at all or crawling out of my skin, because I didn't at all do a bunch of bad things to the person that we just ran into. Haha! Chris?
Hello, I'm the person who's doing the bad things to these people. I have been your lovely MC for these preceding evenings. With that in mind, for what's going on, hopefully we'll have another episode of Doomsayers next week, so that's what we're planning for. And we are finishing Act 2 of Stewart's War this Wednesday coming up before we go into the break, because the next Wednesdays after that are Christmas and New Year, so we'll go on 2-week hiatus for Stewart's War before we go into the finale of that. But with all that in mind, thank you for everybody for joining us for another wonderful episode of the Doomsayers, and we can't wait to see you again for more mayhem and wonder. Until then, everyone, have a lovely rest of your evening. Bye-bye.